We're in the North Holland dunes near the coast, and it's the beginning of autumn. We're after a very special creature for this trip, and they do very special things at this time of the year, so let's see if we can find one. Just walking along this path and looking over a crest of a ridge, and I saw a branch that didn't quite look right, and it looks like a pretty big stag. He's quite close and I don't want to get any closer to him, but maybe I can give you a look at his big antlers. He's a pretty big boy, but if I try and get any closer to him I'll risk spooking him, and I don't want to startle him, so I think the best thing to do is just observe and enjoy him from this distance and move on. So that was pretty nice, just seeing such a big animal from close by, and also the mystique of just seeing his antlers. And it's a good tip that if you are in an environment where you're going to come across animals like this, or actually any animal, just look for that movement and that object that stands out from the natural environment, like twigs and branches. They move in a certain way, and if one of these things moves in an opposite direction, then that could be a wild fallow deer. Well, I just walked up this little rise into some trees, and it was very peaceful, and I had a strange feeling that it wasn't just trees. So I looked around and it felt like I was being watched, and sure enough, about 100 meters away there was what I've been looking for, and that is a male or buck fallow deer. And this time of year is their mating season, and what they do is they do a lot of roaring or rutting, and it's a strange mechanical sound that comes out of their throat, and they round up every female they can get, and if someone challenges them to their females, then they fight with each other. So far I haven't heard any bellowing from the males. The one I just saw, he's just having a rest by the look of it, so I didn't want to get any closer to him, and I just let him take it easy and maybe recover. Maybe he had a hard night. So I thought I'd just take advantage of this special time of year in the nature and wildlife of the Netherlands and upload some wildlife and nature stock photos to the stock agency websites. And I always enjoy uploading these nature photos to Instagram as well. They always seem to be quite popular. This is the best time of the year to see mushrooms and other fungi growing in the forest. I don't know what species this is. I wouldn't want to pick it and eat it, which is illegal here in the Netherlands anyway. Probably just as well for me. So far I've seen a few hinds and some younger bucks and one sort of larger buck off in the distance. I haven't heard any roaring yet, which is a bit strange. I hope I'm not too early in the season, but anyway, we'll keep going and see what comes around the next corner. I've just crossed over a bridge, and a couple who had been here before said that if you come over to this island there's a good chance that you can see some roaring stags. I don't know about fighting stags yet, but we'll see how we go. There's a big stag behind me in these bushes, or this stand of trees. He doesn't seem too worked up or fighting or anything, but I'll see if I can get a clear shot of him. Pretty impressive. I didn't want to get any closer to him and spook him or his hinds, so it's important not to disturb them. We'll press on and see if we can see any roaring action or fighting.
I won't get close to your heartache. If you won't open your door, I'm feeling kinda lost when your mind is hiding whatever that is choking your chest. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking 'cause you're holding it back.
Well, I've heard my first stag roaring. It's about 80 or 100 meters off to my right, and I think I saw some movement like an ear flapping, so I'm going to check it out carefully and slowly, and hopefully we can see our first roaring stag. Another scrape where the ground and the grass has been scraped away, revealing the earth. So I think this is like a bed of a large deer. We'll keep moving, see if we can find something.
Maybe you'll make up your mind. Now I'm here by your side. So let it all out.
I've just spotted the stag. He's about 50 metres away and he's alert. I don't want to spook him.
Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. You won't get closer to me. If you want, open your door. If that's what you want, then baby, try to believe me when I say that you can tell me anything. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking, 'cause you're holding.
No roaring action there and no fighting action, unfortunately, but I feel really lucky to have captured such a special image of those animals relatively undisturbed and just going about their normal behavior. So I'm going to keep going. I don't want to put any more pressure on that group of animals, and I'll just keep my fingers crossed that we come across a stag that's roaring with all his might. Well, I've just taken shelter under this tree due to a unforeseen rain shower, and about 30 metres away is a friend of mine who I think we've struck up an agreement that neither of us will bother each other. So I'll just sit this rain shower out and not make too much noise or movement so I don't disturb him either, and we can both stay dry. So he looks like he's just sitting things out and having a rest. Pretty impressive animal. I can't believe I'm just walking on the track, so I'm not intruding, but I have to walk past him. I don't think I've ever been so close to an animal like that before. Must be 10 metres away. Pretty exciting. There's a roaring stag walking towards me through the forest. Two stags. There's two stags there, both roaring. It's a face-off. Finally, we've found them. Getting all worked up. Pretty happy about that. Two stags were kind of competing with each other, and they're still going. But they weren't fighting, but at least they were roaring, so I'm pretty stoked with that. I got some really good shots and some footage of one of them roaring. I hope the audio picked it up. It's pretty windy. Well, how about that? I was walking along and was coming to the end of my day here, and I thought that was it. We'd seen what we were going to see, and then I heard these mechanical clackers, kind of roars in the distance, and I came over the crest of that hill, and there were two big stags facing each other off. One of them disappeared over the ridge, and one stayed behind and just kept roaring and roaring, and it was great. I noticed he had seen me, so I backed off. Didn't want to scare him out of his territory, so I'll leave them to it. If you thought this was a bit of fun, then give it a like. I've got tons of videos like this on my channel, and I'll be making more in the future, so if you think this is something that you're enjoying and interested in, then feel free to subscribe. And thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next video.